Welcome in everyone to the Challenge Aftershow tonight. Jenna, Pamela, and I are talking about the Challenge Season 40, Battle of the Eras, Episode 12. I think we're on 12. Oh my goodness. The Era of the Purge. Oh, I got it all down. That's all correct. All that
Is that the
information you just
episode?
heard is correct. Yes, that's
Is that
correct.
the episode title, The Era of the Purge? Now that
Yes.
is just really like they gave up on
I mean, and it's funny because last
wittiness,
week and
on puns. Like there's just
no,
that is so literal. That is
the
like,
next and the next on the challenge told us last week that they were going to have a mini final this week and a purge. So I think that's why they were like, "Well, let's just make the title the purge."
the
So
era of the purge. That is
that's yeah,
Right. Like, give us something, people.
that
no,
was like they just needed to submit something in and they did not have
Hmm.
anything to spare.
and it's funny because I felt the same way as about the title as I did about like the vignettes of the night of like
Mhm.
all that conversation before the daily challenge. I was like, I usually write down notes for everything. Like, ooh, we can talk about. I just wrote down lots of setup, not much substance. That's what I wrote for the vignettes tonight. And if you ladies have anything you want to add to it, but to me, like I couldn't even think of like, oh, well, let's at least talk a little bit about this situation because to me there was like it was all nothing, a bunch of nothingness in the
Well,
vignettes.
I guess you're kind of right about the opening vignettes in terms of like, I don't know, major importance. Like nothing really sticks out to me in those opening vignettes, but I thought otherwise there was a lot of things in this episode
Oh
that
no,
riled
this episode's
up.
awesome.
Yeah,
No,
the episode was awesome. But yeah, I guess in terms of those opening vignettes, there's not anything crazy. But I did notice, Kyland, Olivia, and Michelle are speaking and they want to try to bring Cara onto their side. But I guess to your point, we didn't really see that
that's
executed.
that's what I'm
So,
saying. No, like, it was like let's talk about all these little things, and then okay, it's never going to be talked about again. This whole Kara thing, like there was later on in the episode, Kara was like trying to be friendly with Tori and make a joke. She's like, "I'm finally so glad," and then of course, like everyone was like, "Oh, okay, Kara," and then they just moved on. Poor Kara's always alone no matter what. But I don't know. It just these vignettes didn't do it for me, but the rest of the episodes, I can't wait. It's gonna be so fun to talk about for
yeah,
sure.
the rest of the episode, man.
Yeah. Pam, anything on these vignettes before we move on? 'Cause, I mean, we can do overall thoughts too, but I don't want to. I kind of want to just go in order because there's just
Right.
every.
Go.
It's just so much good stuff here. All right, let's break down this mini final. By the way, TJ announces that it's going to be a purge, and that last place, male and female, you're going home. Second to last place, you're if you're a male, you're automatically going to elimination. If you're a female, you get a penalty. Now, mind you, these penalties they are actually something. There's something to them because
Hmm.
Theo got last place last episode, a 2 minute penalty to start off a race. That must have felt like forever for this dude just waiting at the starting line while everyone else just left. So to me, like I like that the producers are trying to make it so the opposite sex that doesn't have to go into elimination actually has something to fight for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Last place sucks for that.
You
So
have to do that because otherwise you would not be participating. You would not care. There's no point to stress your muscles, get fatigued, get mentally out of the game. Like you would just simply give up, you know?
yeah.
Mm.
And in this case, they did a double or nothing. Like we're not only going to send someone a limit, like a time penalty next round or whatever it is. The last place person, you going home, like that's insane to me. And we can talk. I mean, spoiler alert, it's Laurel and Nehemiah. But from the women's side of it, it looked like Laurel just decided like I don't care anymore. To me, that was Laurel just not being good at something, and instead of actually trying to finish it, she made the excuse, "Well, I don't even care anymore. Oh, it's too hot out." Bad. This is a really bad look for Laurel. Really
It's a
bad.
really bad look for Laurel, but I also feel like it's pretty true to her character where she kind of resorts into acting like a little kid. Like,
Yeah.
she no longer has the power in this situation. So exactly, Pam. It's like super pouty, it's super whiny and complaining and like blaming everyone and everything else. Like, this is bullshit. This isn't fair. Like, this is torture. And it's like, well, you're just not the best.
Everyone's going through it, but you're not
Everyone
good
else is
at
going
it. So
through
you're
it.
making it as if it's just a torturous thing. And yeah, it was hot out, but everyone else went through it. And since you're the worst at it, you're making it like, oh, this just isn't fair that we're doing this. And Pamela brought this up years ago about Laurel. In her relationships, she acts like a 13-year-old. Well, in every aspect of her life, she resorts to this weird childlike aura about her. And it's really like not good. I don't like it.
Yeah, I
Pamela,
feel like this exposed her in a bad way where it's almost like you kind of lose any sort of bragging points on being one of the best women to ever play the game. Like to act like this is just a really bad look of your competitive character that it can definitely now taint the way you're viewed as a competitor because you're so willing to just give up. I think Kara's commentary just read her down to filth. And she was like, guess what? Laurel don't think she came in the best shape. She knows she's not going to fit well in a final this time. So she's got to find an early exit out of this game before she really embarrasses herself. I was like, damn,
Hmm.
you just read her down.
Yeah, I agree. I just think she got Karma Maria'd. She
Whoa.
That's it. She just everything about it was pathetic. It was like, okay, Laurel, I see you, Laurel, and I'm glad because she's
Yeah,
such.
right. Like we see. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we see
We were
your.
wondering, we were wondering who was going to take out the villain because we all were saying who's going to take out Laurel this season because none of us wanted to see her in the finale because we don't want her to win any more money, especially after what she did with those BS stars that she got with Cara the other season. She took herself out. She literally took herself out. No one had to take her out. She took herself out. Pretty crazy.
And
Janice, go ahead, Pam. Sorry.
just such a brat. Couldn't have shown less sportsmanlike behavior. Everybody else's problem, everybody else's fault. And Jenna, just to second what you said, I do. I think it very much, and Dan, what you said mirrors Laurel's entire existence. When she feels good, it's like, yeah, and she can dish it, but she can't take it. She'll bully people. She's mean. She'll stomp on you when something goes wrong. It's everybody else's problem, and this isn't fair. And she's like a Karen. She's like a Karen of the challenge. She really is.
Yeah, and Dan, it's so funny you brought up the Mario Kart stars from last week because that's what I made that note too. I was like, oh, you can't rely on your stars in your back pocket now. Like now you got to do every single checkpoint and it's proving to be difficult for you. Like can't rely on those Mario Kart tokens now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Well, let's talk a little bit about this daily challenge. It was called Doomed, and they had three checkpoints. The first checkpoint, you had to dig it in the sand and find a key. I'm excited to break this down because I was very confused why some people could not find this key. Checkpoint two, unlock a paddleboard with that key, obviously, and then go down the water, whatever kind of body of water that was. And then third checkpoint is a memory game, which is really where Laurel lost her marbles, and then you
Yeah.
sprint to the finish. And that was
Yeah.
basically how it breaks down. Let's do checkpoint one. This digging for the key. They allowed people to eventually time out on this. Didn't like that. That was my biggest. I was like,
Really?
I want find a freaking key in the sand, and if the sand is going down back into it, move it further away. I didn't like the timeout, but maybe you ladies did. Maybe you thought it was more fair. It became an equalizer basically once they timed out, but I didn't like it.
I found it to be one of those moments where I don't want to hate the game. I don't want to say the game's unfair, but I'm just saying, like, how do you prepare that to make sure everybody's key is in a similarly findable place? Like, and this is not a conspiracy. This is not. I'm just saying it could just be a shitty kind of luck of the draw. That's not to discredit the people who found the keys first because they all were fantastic players. Like, the ones who found it are the best of the best. So, there's truth to that. They executed it well, right? But there's something about like there was so many of them stuck at that checkpoint who could not dig up a key.
It the reason it's not a conspiracy to me is you could pick any spot you wanted to. It was first come first serve. So to me, if they were all labeled like bananas, Laurel, they had to go to a certain hole. But no, it's not. Theo at the end was like, "Where's my?" He was the last one to get there, obviously, and there was just one random one on the top right. It wasn't labeled Theo, nothing like they said. Oh, I'll go, and he found it. So like, I didn't. No conspiracy to me. Just
No
people.
conspiracy. That's why I was saying that. I don't even want to say that word. It feels like it's messing up it's misinterpreting what I'm saying. I just only it's no conspiracy. I'm just saying like nothing was intentional. I'm just saying this is one of those activities, one of those games where it just feels like how much power can you have in it? Like there's a lot of things that you might not I don't know, that like how much of your skill and your strategic gameplay can actually like influence you doing this well. Do you know what I mean? It just seems like a trickier game.
I agreed 1,000,000%. It keeps my analogy is that it's like if you were doing an Easter egg hunt and you hit 100 eggs, like some of them are going to be right there and some are not. It's not that you're trying to make Betsy win. Like there's no, I don't think it's a conspiracy, but I think even if one person, if they said go bury 100 keys in the sand, they're going to be buried to varying degrees.
Yeah, but I'd like to give producers some credit. I assume they tried to dig all the holes as evenly as possible and then just place the key right there at the bottom and cover it up, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then and then after each hole they dug, they marked it with a little marker there, and then that's it. So I want to give the producers some credit here and hope that they tried their best. Unlike that nail job that happened with with Tina back in the day, where she just I think she actually blew on it, Pam. I think she went.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. They all fell off. Yeah.
Yeah, she just went. Yeah. I've always appreciated like a digging challenge. I think it's just kind of like an equalizer. It's kind of like, just a fun free for all. If I was in the game, I imagine that would be very, like they were saying, it was mentally defeating. It felt like hell.
Yeah.
It felt like the hole kept repopulating itself, that it couldn't help but be like, yeah, that kind of sucks. And I would feel like I was desperately like out of the power of controlling my outcome in this game, by a certain point.
This whole episode, I don't like watching sports with Luke because I get like tense if I care at all. It's really like tension inducing.
Oh, you're not a sports fan of any team?
Yeah, like go
really,
blue, like Luke likes Michigan.
Ladies, I got a story for you now that Pam brought up sports.
Okay.
Last night I was on Instagram and they had one of those like QVC, and they were like old school. Remember starter jackets back in like the late 90s?
Yeah, I have one. Yeah.
Okay. I had a Celtics one and I had like a Miami Dolphins one. They're gone though. Don't know where they went. So they were selling like starter jackets on, what's that, Jenna?
I was saying they're selling them.
Well, they're selling them but they were selling them for like $22. And I was like, that's not real. But
yeah,
I'm like, I'm going to try to get one. So I got a Patriots one for myself, a large Patriots. And then I was like, Stacey, do you want one too? Because like they're 20. So she's like, yeah, give me a medium, because she likes to have them like baggy and fun or whatever for her jacket. So I came to like $44. The tax came out. It was like $13. And they charged my card like $64. And today I got a thing. They're in China somewhere and they're coming my way. I'm going for it. So I mean, like, whatever. They might be like janky. I don't know.
You guys tell me, what is a starter jacket?
It's just like a big puffy, like swishy sort of jacket. I have my dad's old 90s Cowboys one, and
my brother had a Cowboys one. Very classic, very classic. I can show. I mean,
90s Cowboys, like that's
yeah. So I didn't get like the original starters jacket. These are like more like a silky jacket, like, but it's still a vibe with the button. And this one has like a button up that you can button all the way up instead of the half zip, because the original starters were like those little half zip ones.
And I kind of have a feeling that they're gonna come in and they're gonna be like for your American dolls, like they're gonna be like size XXX small. That
it might be messed up, but the video that they showed on QVC, like they were showing off the jackets each one, and they looked pretty legit.
Yeah,
it's fun. It was an impulse buy.
Yeah, people are like, oh, I bought this online, and then it like only fits like the top of their shoulder.
Yeah,
I did before we knew about such things, like a long time ago, before we started buying things from China. I bought like an extra large like in this dress, and it literally, didn't fit on my arm, and I was like, this is not.
We'll see. Anyways, back to the
but I think
show
we're
here.
savvier now as a shopping nation.
We went down this loop wormhole because Pam was expressing how tense it was for her to watch this.
Yes. So Cara, not great in sand. Either Theo was bringing me back to that final. It was making me upset. Obviously, since Theo hasn't had 5 minutes of screen time this episode, and this was all about him, I was like, please don't lose, Theo. Don't lose. Like, I didn't know what was happening, but I knew, Theo was going to be involved. And I was like, you can do it, Theo. Like trying to convince myself, like when you nudge your bowling ball like that after you've already thrown it. Tori's fucking great. And back to what you said, Jenna, about Cara reading Laurel, all I could think when I was watching this was like, these people are pretty impressive. Like the majority of them are very impressive. It was making me like, and when they were paddleboarding, it was so beautiful. I was like, it'd be nice to be there and like not running in that sand and paddleboarding and then like memory gaming. Yeah, it was very tense.
No, I completely agree with that. And man, Tori, she is so good. And I know we obviously have a bit of a positive bias for
No,
her.
she came in third of everybody
She's
tonight.
I
amazing. She is phenomenal. She just puts her head down and does what needs to be fucking done. And she doesn't like have that a boisterous attitude about it. She doesn't like, you know, put anybody down in the process. She just does what she needs to do. And guess what? She's also multidimensional. She's not just brawn. And I'm pissed off at anybody who typically says that. And I can't believe it. Every time I'm like, she completes puzzles quicker than anybody. She
Mhm.
does everything. Like, how can
Yeah.
you think she's not, multidimensional?
It's
Hey,
funny that she ended up winning again this week. I know a couple weeks ago she won, obviously, because she put bananas down there and she got to put bananas down there again. But literally last episode, I was saying, like, people are giving us a hard time for saying how great Tori is. But then, boom, the following week, we don't know what's going to happen. She goes and wins again. So it's like, how many more times do we have to keep, how many times more times do she have to keep showing you that she's just as good as those cars and those Laurels? And we saw Laurel tonight. Boom, she's out of here. Cara barely finished, but she was like third to last tonight. So I'm just saying, like, yeah, overall, Kara's got a better record and she's has that longevity. But Tori is right there with her in 2024, and for people to ignore that, I'm not sure what they're not seeing that we are. But yeah, Tori's right up
She's
there.
just such a winner with so much poise and so much confidence. It just is amazing to see. Like if she is nervous, she doesn't show it. Like I said, she just gets the job done. She just shows up and does what she has to do and it's just it's so inspiring, honestly. Like she's so great.
she's great. And she doesn't turn around like, yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, unless she's
Right.
kidding, it's like, oh, that was hard, right? Like as soon as like what a beast. She's just she's a good like she's a good the way Laurel sucks as a competitor and a human, like she just sucks at life. Tori like wins at life. She's a good person, a good competitor. She's just great. She's entertaining, like she's also fun. And yeah, it's again, I do have to say, we forget though, Cara. I was like, Cara's funny. We forget like funny Cara. She can be funny sometimes. Again, when she was lone wolfing for the millionth time tonight, and she's like, well, now other people see he like making her joke that didn't quite land. She's funny too. So even though Tori's amazing this season as a competitor, I think Cara Maria is having a good season as a human, which we cannot say for a lot of her past
The
seasons.
last couple seasons have been good for Cara. Honestly, when she went against Laurel the other season, that was a great season for her, I thought as well.
Not just her responding okay, but her growth, her comfort level in herself.
Yeah. Well, I
Not just
thought her
being
game, we
picked
were,
on.
her gameplay has been great too. I mean, this season she hasn't had to do much, but no, I mean, but the season before, her gameplay I thought was pretty outstanding with how she was manipulating people to vote certain ways and whatnot as well.
When
Um,
if you've ever been bullied, it's just like, ugh, leave me alone. Don't see me. Like, I want to be invisible. I think this
mm,
season is Cara's like invisibility season. Like, she's not, except for Laurel, who will
Yeah, I
never
mean, people
be
came for her at
invisible.
the beginning. And when I say people, I mean Bananas and Laurel, who were on her own damn team.
Yeah.
So she couldn't quite have the cloak of invisibility early on, but now she is super on
Right.
the radar. And
yeah.
I feel like she had that blowout with Laurel and is just kind of now trying to just be quiet and just ride the wave.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're mentioning how great Tori has been, we should mention Kylan too. I mean,
Yeah.
not to the level that Tori has been, because Tori's been doing this for a lot longer than Kylan has. But there's something about Kylan where he hasn't at least shown this once yet. He doesn't let the pressure get to him. He never reacts like a Laurel does when they're like, oh, it's just so hot. He just keeps going and he just kind of just takes care of the tasks at hand and moves forward. And he's just been a really great competitor these past couple seasons. So
Yeah, no, you're
yeah.
so right. He is also so like confident, calm, steadfast, and just does the task at hand. And he's so smart and so good. He beat Jordan. He beat Jordan. That is so impressive.
It
He
is.
did a great job.
I
Yeah.
think Kyland, I thought on his season where it was like him and Horacio versus the world, He was great and an amazing competitor. And I feel like he's done a lot of ups and downs this season, where unfortunately someone like Tori and Jordan are always steady. And I have to see that consistency to put them in that A level. So
Where and I'm not
did,
yeah, I'm not saying he's an A
he's
player
not,
yet.
he's had a few fluffs,
But what did he do? What was so where did he fall out for you this season?
One when he was like Kyle and the calculator and his team, which not only was a team, and again,
In his defense, people are
getting it.
giving him this nickname. I don't think he's out and about.
Their team had 14 people and Rachel beat them. Like, I mean, there were just things where it's like, overall, he's done really well sometimes. And then times when I was expecting him to bring it home, he hasn't. And that's the only one that's coming to my head.
He probably should have gotten a few more questions right in that one. But I believe with that, what happened was there were so many players left on their team. They each only got 2 handholds. So you can imagine how hard it would be to stay inside that crate with only one for your hand and one for your foot.
There's been a few times this season where I thought it was Kylan's to lose and he lost, or to win. And he didn't come through. So I just feel like he's good, and which is normal.
He beat Darrell in that elimination pretty handily.
He did, but again, what was that elimination?
Math.
They had to do
very math
a lot of math. That's what I'm saying.
Which again is catered towards his
It's
strength.
only a second season though, right? I think it's just a second season.
He actually premiered. Yeah, you're right, Pamela. He premiered on the Challenge USA. So technically that was his first, but then he's done 2 of the flagships. So you're actually both correct. Congratulations, girls.
Thank you. Yay, winning.
Oh, we're both winners.
I think he's great. Don't get me wrong. He won. He beat everybody today.
He beat everyone. And Jordan was 3 minutes behind him, maybe a little bit over 3 minutes if you count the seconds. I didn't. I wrapped up. But you should count seconds when you're running, though. If you ever run a mile and it's like the difference between 8 minutes and 8:15 is very precious. So I'm not discrediting that. I was just being lazy when I watched the show and I didn't have time to write it all down.
I did rewind because I saw Jordan's time was 1 minute, 6 seconds and whatever, 30 point or whatever, 1 hour and 6 minutes and 30 something seconds. But I kept rewinding to see Kylan's and they didn't show it. When they had showed it, or at least I didn't see, because I was looking up and looking down and taking notes. I wasn't going to rewind 20 times, but I didn't see it, but it must have been very close.
I saw it was 1 hour, 3 minutes and
for Kylan. So then
so it's about 3 minutes ahead, which I thought was very close. I was like, oh, Jordan was right behind. My husband was like, oh, that's
but in a race,
full 3 minutes on him.
That's
exactly. Yeah.
Well, we talk about Laurel. We should also talk about Nehemiah tonight. He gets purged because he does awful at this as well. So for everybody out there that's always telling me how great of a player he is, he's a C player still. He'll always be a C player. It is what it is. No harm, no foul. That's what he did. And everyone else in the chat is always telling me how good he is at puzzles and whatnot. This is a type of puzzle, this memory game that they're supposed to do. Show me where he did well tonight in that memory game. He didn't. In fact, he got there basically with the whole group of people. He had a very good opportunity to finish with the majority to get out of there, and he literally never finished it. So
as well at being a sweet man. He is really
as well at being a sweet man. But
you're sweet.
Honorable mention in the sweet man, but I've had enough that I don't want to be mean because I like him so much. But Derek, get out of here with his talk about how, I'm sorry, Dan, I had to beat you to it, and the hate can come at me. Derek is a sweet man, he wins at life. He's a good person. This is not, so I agree as Nehemiah, but Derek is not good at this because I kept waiting. All right, Derek, show us what you got with this big leveler, the memory game. And this is really going to level it up for you and Nehemiah. These are his words. And I'm going to really crush this. And I'm here to win it. And we're the best of the best now. And no.
But he didn't lose. And he didn't come second to last either. So he wasn't.
He was like third to last. Right. Yeah.
But he did what he needed to do.
He did. He beat Nehemiah. He beat Theo. So there you go. But Pamela, I'm with you on the Derek stuff too. He's not. I mean, kind of. Who was it? Was it Laurel when she was doing her karma votes tonight? She mentioned it. She goes, "Well, Michelle's not gonna make the final anyways." Like, she was doing her thing, like just to kind of dislike. Like, there are other people that agree. Like, Michelle is not built for this game. Yes, she's made it very far, and congratulations to her. Am I putting my money on Michelle to win this thing? No, same as a Derek. I'm not going to put my money. And if anyone else wants to be honest with themselves, no one else is putting their money on Derek to win this goddamn thing either. If he won, holy, what? That'd be the biggest upset in challenge history. I'm sorry, it just would be.
I don't even
But
think
guess what? I found that so patronizing of Laurel, and it made me so annoyed of her to go off her list saying, "You're not going to make a final.
Right.
He's not going to
They
make
made
a
it further
final."
than you, Laurel. I
As
hear you on
her
that too.
ass is in the chair at the confessional when other people are still in the game. It's like you didn't make it to a final. Who are
Yeah,
you to say?
there is truth to
Yeah.
that. Jenna, I hear what you're saying. There is truth to that, but that honest opinion of if we look at it like objectively or subjectively, no, subjectively, right?
So, well, it depends.
objectively. With
Who's talking? You
objectivity,
talking
Michelle-
everyone? Or you
Involved.
talking you?
We're not being partial. If we look at it objectively, like
Okay, objectively, Michelle is not at the tier of a Rachel and a Cara and a Tori. She's just not. Like, there you go. I mean, it is what it is.
No, but subjectively, to Jenna, I want to give Michelle kudos because I also like her kind of like self-awareness, she's motivating herself. I found it really endearing and I enjoyed watching her tonight because she's there with Laurel, who's having a damn temper tantrum, who is supposed to be one of the queens of the challenge, who is so good at this, right? And Michelle's just kind of like, well, that's not the right answer. Okay, let's she's like, come on, Michelle, you got it. Where do I go? Do I go up? Okay, let's go, Michelle. Come on.
Yeah.
And after she does it, she's like, come on, push it. Like she's just cheering herself on.
No, and you know what? Because because she knows she's not technically as good as the other girls. I like that she is being super just realistic with her performance, but it's also helping her performance because she's not getting stressed out about it. It's actually a really nice move by Michelle if she's doing this on purpose that way. It's really good.
And I think though Michelle said, you guys have to correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure someone will in the comments. Did Michelle go, wow, that's chessmate? I think she thought it was over. I think she thought Laura won at some point. And I heard,
I don't remember
that's chessmate. And I was like, did she just say chessmate? And then she was like, oh, Laurel's still going. Okay. It was very cute.
Oh, she thought Laurel had finished the puzzle or something?
Yeah, she meant checkmate. She meant to
I know she had it.
That's checkmate.
I didn't pick up on that.
Well, there's chessmate, and then was ready to stop. And then it was cute. She's like, oh, Laurel didn't finish good, and like got back into it. Michelle pep talks are cute. Again, Michelle, I like seeing her, even when I hate her, but I like her. She's fun to watch.
Yeah, I liked her, definitely. I liked her energy about her challenge. We also cannot discredit the elements that they are enduring this season. I think the season is like scorching hot and is draining all of them. Because even sometimes when they're in the house, certain people just seem so mellowed out, so low energy. I'm like, is it just really hot there?
Well, you know,
these challenges, like here we are in our nice, like temperature controlled house. For the most part, sitting on couches, watching them like suffer and dying. We're like, why are you doing this quicker?
They gave them, you know how it's bad when they all gave them bucket hats to wear, and they have the water, but they've done the water before. When have they actually provided them with like shade for their head and their skull and their face? They don't really usually give them all matching hats, but they're like, it's way
good call.
And they were just in direct sand for miles and miles. Was there a tree? I don't know if there was a tree. Like they were in water at one point.
There might have been a mirage of a tree.
Right? Like they said a mirage. They didn't know if they were seeing TJ. They didn't know what was happening. So yeah, I mean, that is a recipe for going kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nehemiah, Laurel, they're out of here. Theo and Michelle, second to last. Theo's going into elimination automatically. And here's what was disappointing to me. I really wish Nehemiah finished and they just had some random person that wasn't part of the targets, because now you know it's obviously Jordan or Bananas, and Tori's not going to pick Jordan. At least if Nehemiah was down there, maybe Bananas could have tried to state some type of case. I still think he was going to get in there, thrown down there, but at least if there's a third option for Tori, maybe Bananas can try to work some magic and it's more interesting, because the whole next part of the episode, which is like another 30 minutes, we already know the results, really. Like, what are we watching? Like, let's fast forward. No, we have the chamber. We got Bananas with toenails. I mean, like, it's entertaining, but yeah.
I thought I was done and then paused it and it was like, there's another half hour. And I was like, I guess I am not done. Like, I thought it was over at that point.
When she texted
Yeah.
us, Dan, she thought the episode was over. She
Yes,
didn't
I was
realize
like, oh,
that
I'll be there in a
gonna
minute.
yeah.
And I was like, up, not going to be there.
Guess what, baby? I don't care. Throw bananas in every time. I don't care if it's predictable. I'm glad he's going in.
Agreed.
I see. No, I'm happy, but are you happy that he's winning as well, Jenna? I'm thinking it's a no for you.
Listen, no, see, I respect that Bananas is so good at the game. Like, let's not get it twisted. But when he also resorts to these hypocritical comments, he is a walking contradiction. If we want to jump into the chamber, I can expand more on that. I don't know if we're ready yet, but I just
Listen, but
not
Jenna,
what he said.
if bananas goes home, this season gets real boring real fast. I'm sorry,
You're
but it
exactly
does.
right.
So I'm
Bananas is such a like prolific player in the game where there was a point in time during the challenge that like I really felt like I despised him truly and
Oh,
like I
me too.
probably didn't want to see him on the show.
you
But
mean
then when
back
he
in like the early 2000s to mid 2000s?
yeah, kind of
Oh
like
yeah,
that
me
really
too.
when he was at like the height, right? When he's at his peak and the challenge was just different, I really like despised him. But then you realize what an important like character he is to
Yes.
the show. You know, like he really is and like you truly do love to hate him. Like
Right. Like I was you both know I'm a huge West fan. So when it was West versus Bananas, I was always rooting against Bananas, but I never wanted him to go home like first episode. I wanted to see them battle it out. And then if he didn't make a final, that's fine. But I always was rooting for West to eventually take him out. But yeah, like you said, Jenny, you nailed it. He's a great character, especially nowadays on the challenge where great characters are just being missed because production doesn't care to build up that whole like Jenna as the Dits, not you Jenna, but the Jenna, the tall Jenna as the Dits.
oh man.
They would build her they would build her character up for that. Now it's like they just don't do it as much anymore. It's disappointing for sure. So Bananas is key. We need him in.
So I will say I was rooting for Theo to win. I just was.
Really?
I was, yeah,
Why?
because
Why? Because they show us so much of that Olivia and Theo storyline. I can't
no,
get
no,
enough of that
listen.
that true
I like
romance.
Theo. I
Get
like
out of here.
Theo. I like Theo as a person, even though he's not as electric of a character as Johnny, especially this season. But I do like him. Like I find him enjoyable to watch. I find
I
him fun.
guess.
I find him athletic. But yeah, this isn't like his shining season of being like a reality TV character at all. But
No.
I do think he's funny. Like when we got to see him kind of antagonizing and fake shit talking. I just think he's like a naturally funny and in a cool way. You know what I mean? And like I would find it hard to dislike him in the house. You know, he just has like a way of talking to people that I think is like not the way Bananas kind of condescends you. It's like obviously very playful shit talking from Theo. Yeah, I mean he didn't seem like maybe he came into the season in his best of shape. Like this
Right.
is
Yeah.
someone who is an Olympic athlete, and I think he came for a vacation, which like valid. I would probably do that too.
And
But
he
I
admitted it. He said this has been
yeah.
a holiday this whole time.
Yeah,
Well, and
but
you
I
know,
started to put it a little bit into high gear in this elimination, and I really enjoyed watching them compete against each other. And I didn't think the game was maybe that fair to be
I didn't like
as
high
well.
low. I hated the high low aspect of it.
But it ended up being exciting to watch, and I felt like he was really trying and was performing well in the elimination. So yes, I was rooting for him. But
you're right,
Me
Pamela,
too.
you nailed it. I was wishing they would come up with a different way to decide who gets two polls and who gets one poll. Yeah, the high low thing was kind of whatever, but the concept of the game I wrote down interesting because at first I was like, do I like this? But by the end, the concept of trying to get through that tunnel is really cool. I like that part
yeah,
of it.
no, I did end up really liking it. But when they showed high-low, I literally went, "Is this a joke?"
Yeah,
Like,
can we
we're
like
gonna leave
can't
it
there
up
be any
to
other like I don't need them to be like doing a math problem for who solved the math problem, like get that out of here. But high, low, give me a break, something
But I
else.
do have
To
to
be
be honest, it
fair,
was kind of fun to
yeah,
watch. It
any
was.
random like up or down or head would have been just as equally frustrating. I think it's
Like
just
give how about this? How about rock, paper, scissors? Make them do rock, paper, scissors
oh,
against
see,
each other.
that would have been so frustrating too. Anything that I can think of that's a game of chance, but they need like I think a second to decompress would have been
Maybe.
frustrating because it's a game of chance. It has no bearing on who deserves, who's outperforming whom, or whatever. But I would like to say that in the beginning of this, I want to give props to you because he didn't win, but it was way closer than I thought at all. First of all, I didn't know he was 6'6". I knew he was tall, but I didn't realize he
He-
was that
and
tall.
you see how his shoulders are freaking broad.
He's
That's
really
a problem.
He's a big boy, but also I just feel like this is for Bananas, these things that you can only be good at by doing the challenge for your entire adult life, that are how do you prepare to block someone's passage through a pole. I feel like this was up Bananas' alley in terms of strategizing, and Theo Halzoni did really good. And I was rooting for him just because, again, I love Bananas here because what's a movie without a villain? But you still want them to be defeated. Like I still wanted Theo to win. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, we can go back to Bananas in the Chamber if we want. And that really kind of sets the pace for why, again, I'm rooting against him.
yes.
Because he is a walking contradiction, like I said. Like, pretty much in the same breath, he's saying, but Tori, you know how much I've been burned in this game. And then transitions right into, but what could I have done wrong? Play the game? I will never apologize for that. I'm like, aren't
No.
those the same things? Like, if someone has burned you, but you've played the game, like, I love how you manipulate you burning people into playing the game.
Right.
God forbid it be done to you. Like, everything is just so woe is bananas. He coined the term all is fair in love, war, and challenges, but it's not fair when it's done to him.
Can I
So
ask you? Let me ask you a question, Jenna. Though, could Bananas have done anything in the chamber tonight if he apologized to Tori a million times? Would he still have been chosen to go to the elimination? Yes or
yeah,
no?
of course,
Her
yes. I
throwing
don't think
Jordan over
There you
him.
go. So
so.
why not be
Clip your
ridiculous? Why
toenail.
not contradict yourself? Why not clip your toenails? Why not moon her? Oh wait, he did all those things.
he
Who cares? He was going in no matter what.
did.
He knew that.
Yeah, I'm not saying grovel. I'm not saying plead. That just would have looked pathetic. I'm not saying apologize. I'm not saying do any of those things. I'm just saying I really think he does genuinely believe he's never done anything wrong in this game. And I am serious. Like, I just truly think he thinks like, how could anybody ever think that I've been someone to cross someone? And he puts it under the mask of, oh, I'm just playing the game, which is like, yeah, we want
But
people to
let me
play.
Right.
also this
Of
man
course.
is he
But
was
just
seven.
don't cry about it when the game is
He's
played to you.
Here's the thing though, there must be like, and he'll never admit this maybe, but there's gotta be a lot of pressure on his shoulders. He's a seven-time champ. He goes in there he knows people are gunning for him as much as he says it's not fair that they are. He knows everyone's gunning for him because he's won 7 times. Why should he get to win again? If I was
Right.
playing in the game, I'd go after him too. I'd be like the Devin. I wouldn't want him to win again. He's won 7 times. Screw that. It's obnoxious. So, but there's also a lot of pressure for him to perform. So the fact that he's gone into back-to-back male eliminations and won twice, I know the first time was against Ryan, who's not much of a competition, but he did beat Theo. But like the pressure is there, and he is coming out on top. So I have to give him the props where I got to give
Sure.
him the props. I
Oh,
do.
absolutely. Yeah, no, he's a great player. I will never say that he's not like the best player, one of the best players to ever play the challenge. Like, of course he is. It's just like he
Right.
goes and wins. That's what he's always been good at. He's always been good at winning, finding out a strategy, figuring out a way to win, and a way to politic too. It's
And
just
entertain,
Mhm.
and he has to entertain us on top of all that. Like Casey just goes in there every time. Casey's like, I'm just gonna be good at sports, and then she still kind of sucks sometimes.
Throw a football.
I don't have to worry. I don't have to have a personality. I don't have to like politic. Does Casey ever politic? No, he was hanging out with Josh, and she sucks. She sucks. I can't believe I'm even bringing her up. But Bananas is trying to give the world everything. So you just got. I mean, good for him, man. He's doing everything on this show this
He
season.
is. And he's successful at it. You know, he clearly. And again, on that Bananas, didn't he come in? So tonight it was Kyland, Jordan, Tori, and then was it Bananas?
No, Rachel came in. Bananas actually did it.
Rachel.
Bananas took a while to finish that memory game, so he actually
he
didn't
got
place very high.
he got very tripped up and delayed on the memory game. He was
But but the thing is, the rest of the mini final, he was pretty flawless at.
He's
He was
still,
on
yeah,
that kayak pretty much first. He was doing
yep.
really well.
he's again like Cara or CT. Some people that I don't think Kyland is there yet, and Tori's quickly proving herself to be. Whether he has a flub once in a blue moon or not, he's consistently outperforms almost everybody.
Yeah, if Bananas never like not first, I
Yes.
never ever think anything less of him. Like
Right.
he's already
He's usually top. Like Cara's been not doing well these past couple of things, but she's still usually good. Laurel, I think, again, this showed it, wasn't doing great this season. Bananas, Jordan, they're CT on a sure he didn't get his lock nail box ballerina dance done, but whatever, Nehemiah beat him at whatever is usually consistently good. So there's people that after 20 years of doing this very well, you gotta say they're pretty good at this.
Yeah, they've earned their
Like
stake.
Rachel, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, it's funny you talk about his lock ballerina dance because we talked about locks last week. And of course, the mini final started with a lock.
Ugh.
And I was laughing thinking of you, Dan. I was like, another lock.
At least for this lock, it was technically just a key lock, right? You didn't have to actually solve a code.
Right.
So that's different.
Episode was not brought to you by locks.
Yeah, they didn't have to actually solve 8 math problems to get one number, and if you're off by one number, you don't get to succeed. Like, why is the challenge like math? Why is it like I didn't do good at pre-algebra, now I can't win at the challenge? Like, that's not what the challenge is about. You're one number off on a lock, and that's why you don't get. Blows my mind that is like such a heavy thing in the challenge now.
To break things up, I don't mind. Oh,
yeah, like maybe a couple times a season. They've done it every damn episode. There's a lock. You got to do a math problem with a lock, and if you don't do it, you don't get to win.
Or as a
out of
team,
here.
like then if someone's good, it's like, oh, Kylan's good at this. Like, oh, good. Then as a team, it's like one person who knows algebra. Great. That's awesome. But having it as a strong component of every competition is not cool.
Yep. It's getting a little ridiculous. Do we have any other thoughts on the cramping out? Oh, I have a couple thoughts on the cramping out when it was Theo versus Bananas. Did you ladies ever play the kids game when you were growing up? It was called Kerplunk. And it was a plastic clear tube, and there was holes in it, and you would stick all these red sticks all crisscross in there, and then pour marbles in the top, and then you'd each take turns pulling out the sticks, and if the marbles fell all the way through, then you'd have to keep those marbles. The person with the most marbles would lose. So this game reminded me of a reverse Kerplunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anyone knows Kerplunk, write it in the comment section, because I had it. My brother and I played Kerplunk all the time growing up.
I remember its existence.
But it was in the 90s. I don't know. They still make it, though. I looked it up to see. They still make the game. You can probably find it at your local
Starter
Walmart
jacket,
or Target.
Kerplunk, the things that Luke is getting for Christmas.
You want to get him Kerplunk, a starter jacket? Right.
The Kerplunk will be enjoyed by me.
Starter jacket from
Michigan. Do they do college?
I only saw NFL. They may. I don't know. Well, they used back in the day. They definitely did. I remember one of the kid had a Michigan probably jacket in high school and junior high when we were rocking those things.
He has like a satin button Michigan jacket.
So the satin one is the one I bought, but not to dwell on this again, but these are more like the one that Jenna was talking about. And they were more puffy. Like what would you call the material, Jenna? It wasn't nylon. Nylon's what I bought last night. It's still a starter jacket. It's a different version of.
It's like shiny, like a wind and rain resistant. Like what is that?
Yeah, like they would make like a swish noise. If you moved them, you hear like shh, 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 shh. Like that.
But what is the material called?
Yeah, like
I don't know. Just like any winter jacket material.
Not a mesh. It's not a mesh, but it's like a mesh adjacent.
I don't
like
know.
Where I used to live in Los Angeles was Beverly Hills adjacent. So I wasn't in Beverly Hills, but I was 2 streets below Beverly Hills. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, if you had a Beverly Hills zip code.
I did not. I was 2 streets below.
Can you donate to me?
Yeah.
Shiny navy nylon fabric for Georgetown starter jacket.
Luke's Michigan jacket looks like. All right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to derail.
All right. Let me say one thing. So when Theo lost tonight, right? You had Olivia. Well, we have to get. Oh, there's a Josh thing we have to talk about too.
Oh, yes.
Come on. And I didn't mean to skip it over. We're going to talk about it, but let me talk about this real quick. Olivia's like, I know he's not dying. I know whatever, but I'm really sad. And like regularly, I would like be really into this moment after a long season of watching this couple grow together. But guess what, producers? You didn't show us jack crap of their relationship. I know nothing about their relationship. I don't know if they're cute together or quirky. You showed a couple makeout scenes in a pool and them lying in bed together. I know nothing about these two. I don't know what they like about each other. Nothing. You suck, producers, for not giving us anything to care about with this relationship. and it's really lacking. And I begged you. I'm here begging right now.
Yeah, I beg of you.
Show us the relationships. We would be into it. You have an hour and a half instead of an hour like you used to have. You have plenty of time to do it. Stop giving us 30 minutes of Rachel trying to decide who to vote in at the end of an episode like they did 3 episodes ago. I don't care. Give us a little something.
My note is
what are they, ladies? Can I ask you, are they afraid? What are they afraid of, Pam? Jenna, what are they afraid of?
I don't know.
Going over budget with the crew filming. I don't think they have.
No, that can't. No, I'm like, are they worried that they're gonna like offend someone by showing them making out? Are they gonna offend someone about them getting too sexual and hooking up in a bathroom? Are they gonna offend someone if they or is it this? Or are they really just not that into each other? And there's nothing.
No, they're still together. Show us them.
Then what the hell?
In the house in daylight. They're obviously not filming, with red lights and green lights. And
I think it's because
anymore.
I think Jenna's right when she said all they do is schedule times now, and I agree with it. I think they schedule too much stuff, and there's not enough organic stuff to show, and they can't show us anything about these relationships. Like, hey Theo and Olivia, we know you're not actors. Can you guys get together for 5 minutes to talk about how much you like each other? No, they have to do it naturally. They can't be forced to talk about it. It comes off like crap.
Well, thank God Jordan is an actor, because him and Tori had the beginning where they were like, well, now I guess it's time for us to figure out, like they had to do our exposition scene, and they did it a little okay, but it was still very clunky.
Yeah.
Olivia, who I am rooting for, I don't know why, she's the opposite of Jenny's me. I like her. I don't really know why. I don't know her that well. She rubs me the right way. I like her. I'm rooting for her. I want more of her. I liked her last season, even though I hated her, meaning liked watching her in her Nerys drama. And I wish we got to see more of this, because tonight she had about 5 lines. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot she existed, and I like Olivia. So good for Olivia and Theo. I wish we ever got to see that relationship. I'm with you, Dan. I'm agreeing. It's my long way of saying I completely agree. I would have really liked to see more of that on any level. I'm not talking about them hooking up, but they're still together. Obviously, they had a relationship.
I'm with you, but both, like hooking up and just like conversations to show they actually like each other, stuff like that is, I think it's great TV. It's reality TV. Yeah, it's fine.
Inside, she's there with her best friend Michelle. Even the development, like how did that happen? Were you like, oh, I think I like him. Ooh, I think he might like me. Like,
oh. Yes, what? You nailed it, Pam.
None
so
of that,
back in the
that's right now she's like, is it because is he soft this season because he loves me? Like, she seems confident and cool too, where we've only seen her like.
Here's the best thing. The Real World used to do this every season. They did it perfectly to a T. The producer, they'd be in the confessional, and then the producer, you wouldn't hear them ask it, but they basically ask, who do you find attractive in the house? And then it would cause the person to have to talk, well, I think this person's kind of cute. And then you got to see like, okay, so this person might like this person. And then you got to see it start to develop all through that. And it was a great way that they used to do it. And they used to get great footage, and they know how to do it. Just freaking do it.
We went from these people have never met, they are complete strangers, to we are boyfriend and girlfriend intercontinentally, and we're in love and confident in this.
Yeah, intercontinentally is the best part. Yeah.
TV, and we didn't get to be involved in any of it, except, oh, they can't. Okay, now they are a couple. Like, we knew that was coming, and it came like couple time, but no development. It's very uncool.
All right, so let's talk about Josh. I wrote down no matter who wins tonight, it's going to be a big loss for me. That's what Josh said. I said, Josh, everyone's a big loss for you.
No, Pam, Nana's, and Nana Man. It just was like, and also the tone in which he was cheering for everybody, it would just piss me off if I was in the
God.
Oh, me too.
Like, actually stop cheering for me.
Corey was
Come on, Nana's. Come on, Nana Man.
Corey said, Josh is cheering for all his friends. Michelle's mad that people aren't doing what she wants. I can't. He's like, I just want to do Corey.
Corey had some good one-liners tonight. Corey was funny tonight. He was bringing the funny. Yeah, he was. He was good.
I think Corey is tired of people in this house, because it really is. You know, when they say people stop being nice and start getting real, the real world, it's like, it would be so annoying to have to deal with like the constant personalities in the house. But also, I feel like I'm just on such team Michelle today, but I can't help but also be team Michelle in this situation. It's like, Yeah,
Shut
she's
up.
saying like, okay, I see you. You're cheering for somebody who's going to target me. Okay, noted. Like you're cheering for someone who is trying to get me out. So
Man,
therefore,
oh
you're
man.
kind of
But
man.
this goes back to Josh thinking he can be friends with everyone in the house and not piss off everybody in the house. Dude, like Michelle doesn't get along with Bananas. If you're rooting for Bananas, what do you think's gonna happen? Can you blame her for
Yeah,
getting mad at you, dude? You should at least be like he gets so emotional too about it instead of logically thinking, okay, I can see why this might upset Michelle, considering I said
yeah,
I'd work with her, but also with Bananas, but they're literally he's gonna vote
right,
her in tonight if he wins. So
right.
yeah, Josh, don't need to see him on the show anymore. We're good, Josh. Goodbye. Thank you.
Yeah. A
Thanks for
friend
coming.
to all. Which, if you want to be a friend to all, then I guess just like keep it quiet. Like you can't actively because people are
Well, it's
gonna
kind of what Rachel's
find
doing a great job. Rachel's doing that, and she's doing a
a
great job of it.
secret. Keep it a little bit of a secret. He
No,
can't.
no, he's gonna.
But he's also cheering for Thea. You can't just sit there. And then the best is Josh goes, "Do you hear me giving anyone pointers?" Like Josh was gonna push it one way or the other.
Yeah,
Like I'm
John,
not telling you what to do.
banana, that hole. No, not that hole. The
Right?
one to the
Don't put
right.
it in the hole.
Don't not the one to the
Oh,
right's the perfect hole. Like Josh is gonna be able to give pointers anyways.
And
Hey,
Dan,
they're showing a king, bananas. Go lower. They're showing a king. You should probably go.
right.
No
Oh,
shit,
thanks,
Josh.
Josh.
Here. Oh, I want to say this one thing. But they showed a 10, the card 10. Would you go high or low on that, girls?
That 8 and 10 are really hard. I have no fucking idea.
really hard.
On
I
10 to
probably go
me,
low.
no,
Crapshoot.
to me,
Lower.
you thank you,
Lower.
Jenna. On 10, you go lower.
Think so. I don't know.
Bananas went higher and lost that one. And I was
But
like,
you know what? I was just waiting for that crazy 1% to happen. Like when somebody got a queen, or a king. Like I was just waiting for them to say lower. And if it was a queen, be like a king or an ace. Like I just was like waiting for that shitty luck to happen. And it didn't really,
it
everything.
didn't. But the only one that threw me off was bananas. On a 10 to me, you have Jack, Queen, King, and Ace above, but below the 10, you got 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. You go lower. He went higher. Maybe he was
Yeah,
just
maybe he was
feeling
just doing too much. Like he was anticipating that too, being like, okay, I
maybe.
just am trusting my gut. I think this is going to be the example of when it does what, the less statistical thing.
Yeah, I guess. So that's everything from this episode, unless y'all want to say anything else before we get into our mailbag. I've got a
I just want to be reminded
couple.
who
Oh
Bananas
yeah.
picked targets.
Bananas picked
Oh,
Cara, Olivia, and Michelle, which are really his only options because he's
Right.
working with Rachel, Jenny, and Aviv.
oh no.
And Jenna, what did you just eat? Now I'm hungry.
M&M,
Goodness.
Ooh, yum.
peanut M&M.
Ooh.
Gotta be
I think
Ooh, even more yum.
I think I have some too, like hidden in a drawer for leftover from my house. Oh, I
All
hate
right, are we Pamela? Yes, you want to go first?
my
Yes.
no. With a mailbag or with my final comment is Josh Dan. Sorry, ooh, wrong slip. I don't think Corey's being funny. Was trying to be funny at all though either. I think he was completely just telling
Yeah.
what was going on.
I agree with
and
you, but it
was
came off.
funny because it was true. Yeah,
You
but
nailed it.
it
Yeah,
was,
that's exactly what it was. He wasn't. He
yeah.
was just so over it that it made me laugh so much because he's so right. Josh, I can't imagine having to stay in a house with Josh for a month at a time.
Oh
Get
my
out of here.
God. Yeah, no, it was really funny. And boy, that sucks. Next week. Oh, I hope Cara, wins the.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. If Cara has to go against Olivia or Michelle in an elimination, I'm going to take Cara. I know Michelle's performed pretty well, but I still am going to be obviously rooting for her too.
One of those will probably lose, Olivia and Michelle. I would guess, like the odds are in our favor. That one, well, depending on, you know what? Who knows? Who knows what I don't know.
All right. Well, but we're doing mailbag, everybody. I'm just getting mine prepared.
Okay.
Doing M&M
Pamela,
bag.
Pamela, you had yours ready to go, right?
I like Jenna's sneaking, like in like 10th grade history class. If you want like a Dorito from like, sneaking it, like grabbing it. I do. I have one to go that our friend, everybody's friend, and our friend. Oh, I took a screenshot, but
Oh, YouTube Bear.
Yeah,
YouTube
but-
Bear, you're back, baby.
yeah.
YouTube Bearcat. My best buddy. He always says such nice things about me in the comments.
YouTube
Bear
Bearcat
you have a
says,
memory issue again
"Suck
today.
it, Dan. Dan sucks. Dan sucks." Just kidding. That's not
I can't. YouTube Bearcat. That's not nice.
Just kidding. Oh no, it took my thing away. Basically, YouTube Bearcat, and I can't. I thought I took a screenshot of it, and now it's trying to give me ads on my thing and taking it away from me. But basically said the best players are the three people that won tonight: Kylan, Jordan, and Tori. I swear. And then he said, anyway, or she.
Do you want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay. Remember we were talking about the cruise last week? Well,
Yes.
someone with the title here called Harrison C5614 wrote, I live 30 minutes from the port from that cruise, but like you all said, that lineup does very little for me. And I was like, if Harrison's not going, I'm not going. This dude's 30 minutes away. He's like, that lineup
Walk
sucks.
there.
Go wave them
I
off.
just like that was really humorous. That someone is that close.
Bye.
No, they're lame. Yeah.
That's so great. 30 minutes away
That
from
is
this
great.
Miami
That is
port
great.
or whatever. He's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
That is really funny.
Did you also notice? I also thought this was kind of cool. Someone from Egypt listens to our podcast. It's so
Wow.
cool. They
That
wrote,
is
cool.
let me give this person a shout out here.
Guys, I'm from Egypt and I've been following you since AfterBuzz.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm not going to pronounce the name right.
Hendasad.
Hendasad.
Hendasad 8924.
Yeah.
I saw different channels discussing the show, but I believe yours is the best.
Yay!
Isn't that nice?
Thank you, Egypt.
And this is nice. They said he likes that I speak my mind. I don't care about the backlash in the comments.
And
All right,
Pam,
that's pretty true.
you are really a nice and sweet person, and I miss your shut up Josh moment.
Shut up, Josh. There you go. God, shut up, Josh, like Nana man.
The Nana man was a good
getting,
shut up,
like,
Josh,
so
for sure.
bad that it's almost not even funny. I found my quote, and it was YouTube Bearcat
Yes.
saying Bananas and Jordan and Kylan are top tier men. Okay.
Okay.
And which I think Kylan, yes, I've already had my Kylan.
We're getting there.
So
Yeah.
far. Derek, Nehemiah, Josh, and Theo are on the bottom. I think Theo is just having a very bizarrely off. I know he had a crappy 2 past seasons, but I do not think Theo is. I think put Theo on a different level as Derek, Nehemiah, and Josh. But I think it's funny that YouTube Bearcat, who posted this 5 days ago, predicted the winners and the losers sort of in their assessment of the top tier and bottom tier.
Well, he put Bananas in the top though, because
He
Bananas
said
barely.
Bananas. So he said Bananas, Jordan, and Kylan are top tier men. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he is in general. Yeah, just tonight
Yeah,
he didn't do that.
he
well.
is in general. That's what I'm saying. You get one. You get everybody has an off night or whatever. The consistency, which I think Kylan, I put again, obviously Bananas over Kylan in general, just because of his longevity. And then Derek, Nehemiah, and Josh, I agree. No part of me is worried they're going to win. Put it that well. Nehemiah's already gone. Theo, I feel like is because he's a runner. Also,
his elimination record, I should look it up. I remember his
Good.
elimination
There was
record being
6-0.
pretty darn good.
till now.
He said he only lost to Jordan, and then he lost obviously to Bananas tonight, and then I think he's won the rest, obviously. So there you
Good
go.
people to lose to.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Jenna, do you have any ones you want to read?
Yes,
on the
my
mailbag?
mailbag. You said Egypt. I also saw that we have someone watching from Canada. AK Miss Harmony said, "Love you guys. Been watching since AfterBuzz."
Uh-huh.
From Canada, so I appreciate the detail you go into for each episode because I know they don't show us everything you guys get to see, which is crazy. So comment again and say, how does that feel to hear details that you don't actually get to watch? Like, is that confusing? And also, what are they filling your episode with that you don't get to see about ours? Like, do you have a shorter
or they only? I'm wondering. Yeah, I wanted to ask her then. Is it only an hour episode? Maybe they just cut it so it's just an hour episode. They just cut out stuff, so they don't have. I wonder if that's what they do in Canada, and why also.
By the way, whatever happened to the possible special guest you mentioned a few weeks back? Did we mention again?
That was Pamela was saying that she might be able to get a special guest.
It wasn't. It was a semi-special guest. It was the coworker one. It wasn't a. It was a coworker that's a big fan, but he had not was up in time because it was when Jenna.
Yeah, what if they're the gaslight of the century? Like,
no, I did tell them it was a coworker, and
we didn't say it was like a challenger. We didn't say it was a challenger.
It was a.
However, over the years, we have plenty of connections where we could get a challenger in. But the only reason I don't push for it as much as maybe you ladies want to is I want to be able to speak my mind and not hold things back. Like when we had Marie on a couple times, like I didn't hold my. I said, Marie, you did not have a very good season this season. I told her straight. That was at AfterBuzz TV, and she's like, I know about you, Dan, and the things you say. I said, well, Marie, you didn't have a very good season. It is what it is. Like you just didn't have a good season. Like I'm not gonna not tell you that, but I don't like. I don't want to have to do that and say those things. You know, it's kind of awkward sometimes.
It's a even in the short time since AfterBuzz. At that time when we were doing AfterBuzz and we had guests all the time,
yeah.
Every single challenger did not have their own podcast. At this point, they all have their own fucking things. So
that's
like,
true.
well,
It was very different back then.
Tune into them, I guess. Yeah, and it is. No, I enjoy our being able to just be like, not.
I also don't know if anybody would come on our show.
I think they would. People love publicity.
Jenna, we could get people because you could get people. Like you're telling, I know Aviv, like we could get like an Aviv, someone that wasn't like, but you can add Bananas. You've interviewed Bananas, Jenna.
Yeah.
So Pamela, were you there for that interview or no?
No, I was like,
see, Jenna, like my point is like if we can get you got Bananas, then I'm saying we can get like a smaller time person, like someone that hasn't been on the show that often, that's still just trying to build up a following. Get them in a heartbeat. You just reach out to them on Instagram.
Like Wes came to us for the blog, to be on.
No, because I saw that thing on Instagram about Wes. I reached out to his publicist. Yeah, she put him right on with us.
Not that I'm not trying to overestimate, but I'm saying it's like what? So they sit in front of their computer and chat for a second. Who gives a shit? Like it's
30 minutes of their time.
I don't think it's that difficult.
Jenna, you also underestimated us. All the remember we said we have all these followers and all the comments. Now look at all the comments we're getting.
Thank you guys.
Jenna, all right.
We've kept her up way too late.
Yeah, let Jenna go to bed. It is right. 3 hours later where she is. We're out of here. I'm ready to go watch some Thursday Night Football. So great. We'll see y'all next week. Episode 13. Oh my God, we're doing 30 episodes this season. My God, it's never ending. We got to be close to the end, right? They got to do 2 more episodes and maybe the finale is 2 more, so maybe 4 more or 5 more episodes.
I also need to go back into like finding out the tea about this. I haven't been on social media
much.
What
tea do you want to find out on?
I don't know, just like drama.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I like to then after.
Well, are Devin and Michelle still together? Do we know that?
Yeah,
T?
I think they are.
What's everybody tweeting at each other these days? Everyone's always got something to say on Twitter.
Yeah, it's funny. I haven't been on Instagram. I should hop on Instagram to those. I should look at a couple of them because they do put out stuff. Some good fights and whatnot of who's beefing on the Twitter.
It's fights. All right.
I'm out of here.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. See you later.